So, keeping with our trend, we do have another guy who goes with a lot of horses for us. Brodie goes with Almost There Boss, one of our best horses, full time. Goes with a number of other horses for us throughout the week. And, this is a 19-year-old kid. I don't trust our babies just to anybody. Sure, we have a lot of caretakers that go with horses from time to time, but, Brodie's done a great job since coming on with us. And, hopefully he can keep that trend up and we can keep him on full time because he's definitely been a definite asset for us since we broke these babies. So it was only fair. Give the kid a chance, give him his top 10. I mean, we talked to James, he didn't shave. We talked to Johnny, talked to Jimmy, talked to Mario. You hear from me, Amy. Gotta hear from Brodie also. So Brodie, you're 19 years old. Yep. Now this is odd. I don't know. I'm sure I told you this. I've known your dad since I was your age, maybe younger than you. I knew your father a long time ago. Now, you guys may remember your dad was one of the people pulling the horse out of the fire and stuff, wasn't it? Yeah, so if you guys remember, about a year and a half ago, there was a bad fire at First Line Training Center. Remember Mark Stacy's horses where they had concerns and, about smoke inhalation, and a lot of horses could have died. And Brodie's father, Scotty, who I've known for over 2 decades, was one of the people instrumental in getting those horses out of there. So a real hero in our industry. And as I said, I've known Scotty LeCain from when I was a kid. Your dad lived in Truro, right?
Yep.
So I've known, we used to go over to Truro all the time for the races. And, the Maritimes is a pretty tight-knit community, especially when it comes to racing. So everybody knows everybody. And I've known your dad, as I said, it's odd, longer than you've been on Earth. But so Brodie was looking for a job, and we were happy to give him one. Actually, Brodie and his girlfriend, Shelby, are 2 of our best workers here. So very lucky to have them. It was only fair to give you your top 10 list. Now, here's the rules. You can give you each horse. Now, I'm very curious. I didn't look. I didn't even want to look. I'm very curious to see who's on your list, and you have to tell everybody why that horse is in that position and what the horse has been up to. So, without further ado, your top 10 list. Brodie LeCain's top 10 list.
So, we got Spent at number 1. I look after him.
We're going to start at number 10. You pulled your pants down there a little bit.
A little bit.
We're going to start at 10 and then make our way up.
On 10, we got Renegade.
Number 10?
Number 10.
Renegade Gypsy.
Renegade Gypsy.
There's a clean sweep for Renegade Gypsy. Brodie has never sat behind Renegade Gypsy. He has made the top 10 list of every human being on this training center, and only one person has gone with him. Says a lot. Anyway, keep going. Why do you like him?
Just big black, fluent on the track, big stride to him. Always improves every week. He hasn't been showing off much yet, but hopefully he will eventually.
Yep.
Just big, fluent, consistent.
Mm-hmm. I'm shocked at your number 9 pick. Very surprised. We keep going.
And at number 9, we got Almost Their Boss, one of our best horses. He's been good every week. Push button. As soon as you pull him off the helmet, he just wants to launch forward.
He looked good again today. I saw you going with him.
Very good.
Well, how did you bring about number 9? I really thought I would have bet one of my 10 fingers that he would have been your number 1 pick. How do you get to 9?
Just be a little biased for me to put him up at top, and you gotta give other horses a chance and can't be biased with.
Well, that's fine. Listen, everybody else is biased. I'm biased, but I'm glad he's on your list. Shocked he isn't number 1, but that's fine. Number 9, Almost There Boss.
At number 8, we got Garden State Dio.
Now there is the first list for Garden State Dio to hit. No one else has put Garden State Dio on their list. That's impressive. So Brodie doesn't take care of this filly. Deb Tonkin takes care of this filly. Now, for everybody looking ahead, now Brodie wouldn't know because he wasn't here. Spirit of Dio was truthfully one of the best horses I've ever had, and that's shocking because she hasn't made much money. Now Julie and Andy Miller have her in New Jersey, but this is a filly that I just thought had done some of the most powerful work I'd ever seen a horse do. And it's not like I've won the Breeders' Crown or the Maple Leaf Trot. I've raced a lot of good horses and a lot of big races, but not like the cream of the crop. But Spirit of Dio definitely felt like she was shorted on the purse earnings, given the power and stride of this filly and how much she could do. This is her sister, and this is going to sound very odd, and I'm just going to say it. This is a better looking filly. This is a full sister to Spirit of Dio. this is a better looking filly. Not quite as tall, and this is a very tall filly, but she's put together in a longer, more streamlined way. And today, actually, I didn't even know. I didn't ask anybody. Today was the first time she's ever trained with hobbles on. How did she go today?
Very good.
Now, I wasn't here, so I had to get my, for those of you out there that live in Ontario, I had to get my fingerprints taken for my own Ohio license. I guess I was due to have it done again. They sent me the forms, and now the gentleman that does the fingerprints lives in Cambridge, 20 minutes away. I had an 11:30 appointment. I wasn't here for the last set, and coincidentally, that business, he told me he sold his business, and it's moving to Guelph, so which is pretty cool. I live in Guelph, so if anybody out there is looking for fingerprints in Ontario, live anywhere near Guelph, the fingerprint company that was in Cambridge is moving to Guelph. So, a little aside, but I didn't get here for the last set, and you said that Garden State deal went well?
Yeah, very good. She's one of those fillies that she's big, big engine on her. She's one of those horses that tries every week.
She goes forward every week.
Forward and tries, and she's got a big heart on her for...
I'm still surprised. Made the list. It's the first time you're going to see her on a list. I've talked about her. We've talked about her plenty. She might have made lists of mine in the past, but and I'm certain in the future she will. But this is the first one of our trainers that went with any horses. It's the first time you're hearing Garden State Dio. Okay, so Garden State Dio comes in at number 8. Number 7
is we got Peanut Butter and Jelly.
She's a nice filly.
She's a nice Better's Delight filly. She's got a lot of go to her. She's figuring out her gait. A little grabby here and there, but she's one of the ones that push button, tries every week, and goes forward.
She's interesting because she's not like a lot of the Better's Delights. A lot of the Better's Delights, you got to coax them to do their work. You got to keep on them. This filly's quite the opposite. Keep her contained. She's a spitfire. Not your typical Better's Delight, but man, she looks like an impressive filly. I agree, and I haven't gone with her a lot. I can't remember the last time I went with Peanut Butter and Jelly. Jimmy goes with her every week. He loves her to death. She can dance. She's a nice filly. I'm happy. She made almost everybody's list, too. In fact, she may have made everybody's list. I don't want to say for certain, but I think she may have. Just a nice filly. You're right, 100%. Yeah. Number 7, Peanut Butter and Jelly. Number 6.
We have Resolute Bay.
Another horse that made your top 10 list. In fact, I'm just looking at your list now. You have 3 horses on your list. 3 horses on your list that no one else picked. 4 horses on your list that no one else picked. I think one person may have picked one of them. And you're 100% right. Resolute Bay looks great today. He's made breaks, and I know poor Ken and Peggy, they come up to the fence, so the people that sit in that car up at the fence own a big piece of Resolute Bay. And I know it probably just tears their heart out every time he makes a break. But it's nothing to worry about. Almost every time this colt makes a break, he gets spooked. Today they were galloping horses on the track, and they blew by us. Voyage of Ice and Fire almost came unglued. I let him trot forward, and he was okay. Resolute Bay did come unglued and ended up making a break, but come back trotting after that. He's got a beautiful gait. 100% agree. He's a half brother to world champion, the veteran. So, Resolute Bay, I'm interested. That's the first person. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Number 6, Resolute Bay. I'm surprised. All right, good.
He's one of those Killians that just try. He's trying to figure it out. He needs a little coaching here and there, but he's one of those
He's a nice horse.
Ones that just needs a little work, but figuring it out slowly.
Yep.
He's going to be one of those ones that gets better every time.
I agree with that 100%. Number 6, Resolute Bay. Number 5.
Number 5, we have LSL. He's one of those Cantab Hall.
Yeah, he is a Cantab Hall out of a first foal out of a Muscle Hill mare.
Yep. He's one of those ones that tries. He's fluent, sturdy, and goes forward.
He does. He's a nice horse. I'm looking at your list now. I'm surprised there's one horse that's not on there, but we'll talk about that after your list.
Yep.
LSL has been great all along. Now, Colt goes with LSL all the time, and I keep telling everybody, Colt's out. Colt loves to go with the horses, has fun out there with them. Nobody's really sat behind LSL that can really let him smoke and say, okay, this is what we need to change, this is what we need to do. He's just out there doing his work all on his own, virtually. And he's got a great attitude now. I agree. I like the horse. There's another horse was not on anybody's list, but I'm happy that he made your list. So number 5, LSL. Number 4, again, second time today we heard this horse's name. I am surprised, but I don't disagree. Number 4.
Number 4, we have Prairie Fire. He's a nice little colt. Tries every week. goes forward. He wants to go forward, but if you let him go too much, he gets a little fumbly.
Yeah.
But he wants to do his work, and he does it well.
So I guess you see the trend, there's nothing more that people love than horses that come to work, right? The ones that show up where, if you can sit behind them and they just go out and do their work alone, and you just got to steer them, that's great. It's not something you see all the time. Now, I haven't sat behind Prairie Fire in a long time. When I went with him, it was when we were deciding what changes we were going to make to him. The hobbles, the shoeing gear. This is the stuff that these are the changes that we were making with him, and I haven't gone with him since then. I think Jimmy's gone with him almost every week.
Yep.
And you can tell, I agree. I know you went with him a couple of times and he made breaks. That was before we had everything changed on him.
Yep.
He looks good now, does his work well, and understands. And that's the biggest thing also, is being smart. He understands what his work is. And although I haven't sat behind him lately, I have listened to Jimmy rave about how good this colt's getting. And for James to put him on his list today, too, says a lot. I'm interested. I like your list. Very different list. You're going to see why here in a minute. Number 4, Prairie Fire. Number 3 is on everybody's list also.
Number 3, of Luck of the Dragon. He is a Fear the Dragon gelding now.
That's right.
And every week I'm with Boss, but we're on a set with Luck of the Dragon. Usually it's me and Dragon finishing out to the wire, but last trying mile I went with him. Just me coming up against him in that last turn, and just seeing him swell up and want to go launch forward, which is something I've never seen before.
Yeah, he's getting better. He's got a better gait, and you're 100% right. When they come to him, he looks for a fight. Before, it's almost like he looked for a way out. When we were getting him gated, when he was making breaks, it almost looked like, and I said this in the last video, when their confidence is waning, when their confidence is down, they're a little hotter, they're a little crankier, and it takes away from their overall game, and they don't look as impressive. This colt has got better and better and better and better and better. Every week he seems to just get a little bit better than he did the week before, and it's really something to watch. Everybody has had, the only person that didn't, I think everybody had Luck of the Dragon in the top 3. All 6 trainers had Luck of the Dragon in the top 3. He has looked great. He looked good again today, and I'm going to tell you what, he would have looked unbelievably good today. Only one horse overshadowed him. I may have had her lower on my list. I don't even know if I had her on my list, but you're the only person to put, make no mistake, I'm going to tell everybody this right now. There isn't a 2-year-old drawing a breath in this training center right now that can outstep Bomb Hugger. Not one. No one. And I don't care who they are, pacer or trotter. I was last coming out of the last turn with her today, and I said this to James. We said, the little ones always come forward quicker. That's correct. They do. They do come forward quicker. But this filly doesn't get tired. You can see them sprint, and then they kind of fizzle out. They got that big pop to them, but they fizzle out. This filly doesn't. I moved her last week, and it really surprised me. And then today, we didn't train her on Saturday with the sets because she had heel scratches. So I said, I don't know what she'd be like today. I went out there with her today, and I have never, ever, in all the time training horses at this training center, ever seen babies. And it's not, she was in with Luck of the Dragon and those horses. We weren't in where it was like, wow, she was tons the best. She was in with pacers. She was in with good horses. I moved her over. She went from 5th to 1st, which felt like an impossible time frame. Like the length of a car, she went by them and drove away from them. I can honestly say I have never seen a horse in February put on a display that filly's put on the last week. You're the only one. I might have put her on there. I think I might have. But I definitely would have after today. But no one else put Bomb Hugger on their list, and I am 100% positive of this statement right now. There is no 2-year-old, pacer or trotter in this training center that wants any part of Bomb Hugger. In fact, there's some horses that were, a little bit sickly. We talked about Arches Rainbow, who coughed sometimes, a little bit light. Tioga Sunshine coughed a little picky at lunch. We were going to give them a week or 2 off. I want to give Bomb Hugger a week off or 2 off, because she feels like she could qualify right now. She feels like she's ready for the Super Bowl and she's in training camp. She doesn't need to be as good as she is right now, and it really has been something. So I didn't mean to jump in and give away your number 2 pick, but trust me when I say Brodie's the only one that put this filly on her list. I might have put her on lower, but no one else put her on, and I can assure you, undoubtedly, there isn't a horse drawing a breath under the age of 3 on this training center that wants any piece of Bomb Hugger right now. She was incredible this morning. So number 2 is Bomb Hugger.
Bomb Hugger.
Okay, hit me with one. Not shocking. I'm going to tell everybody why in a minute.
Number 1 is Spent. He is a Swan for all gelding, actually. He needs a real big gelding. He's still growing, and he just, every week, he puts in his work, is happy about it, and he tries. Big-hearted, and he just fluent. Big gait, and just goes forward every time you ask him.
He's a nice colt. Brodie takes care of Spent, actually, and he got a little strong in the face, and we changed some gear on him. James goes with him right now, and he likes everything about him. But Brodie takes care of this horse every week, and he always looks good. And like Brodie said, and he's right, every week he's the same, maybe just a little bit better. That's important. I don't want to see these big swings. Bomb Hugger looked tremendous, but is she going to stay that hot, like that good until July? No, Jesus, she couldn't possibly do that. You know, she's only a small filly, so we're going to give her a couple of weeks off. We got her in 5th gear. She doesn't need to be anywhere near 5th gear anymore. Throttle it back into 3rd or 4th. This filly just needs some time to cool off. She's too wild right now, in a good way, but I don't want her burnt out. I don't want her burning hot like she is right now. Today, she wanted to wrestle King Kong today. She was on fire. And, we're going to give her a week or two off just because she needs to simmer down. But as I said, Spent, beautiful colt. This is her sister's racing in an hour at the Meadows. For those of you who don't know, I just got an update on my phone. Frilly Fringes was 4th in her lifetime start. Now, really the only thing I didn't want is her to be first over. She ended up first over for Dave Pallone. Ended up 4th in 58. Looks like she trotted in 2 minutes. 59 and 4, 2 minutes, which is pretty good for her. It's her first lifetime start. Hopefully she can build on that. We'll see about next Wednesday. Now, Friday, I'm not going to the Meadows now. We only got 2 of our horses in. We decided that Yes didn't get in the lower class. We're shipping him to Yonkers. He leaves today, I believe, to go to Irv Miller's place at Wind Gap. He's going to start racing at Yonkers right away. Oso Pine drew the outside, and I think Miss Brampton Beast was the other horse. I think she might have a shot this week. I think she's going to get better. This filly fits him very, very well, I think. So we'll see. I could be wrong, but I'm not going to go over there for Miss Brampton Beast in an 8-hole with Oso Pine. So I opted not to go over on Friday. We're hopefully going to drone here on Saturday, although it's supposed to be very cold again. But Wednesday, depending on who we get in, one of these days we get 3 or 4 in. They look like they can do some damage, then I'll go over. But it's hard for me to get in the car, drive 5 hours down the road when we only got a couple in. So a lot of things taking place now. I don't mean to interrupt your list anymore, but we have racing starting next Tuesday, I believe, at London. We have a couple of horses we're hopefully going to have ready for London. We're going to take 20 horses over between Thursday and Friday, tomorrow and Friday, to train at Mohawk to get ready to race hopefully next week or qualify. We'll get that taken care of. I know that Jason is itching to get back to Ohio. I think they are going to head back first part of March. Every week it gets a little bit closer to March. They want to finish those horses off there and make sure they get qualified and raced. So those horses may make their first starts back in Ohio. I don't know yet, but I think Jason's going to be leaving. I think Jason's going to be leaving 1st of March to go back to Ohio. Him and Kirby. They got about 6 or 8 to go over right away. Rose Run Why Not is going to remain here with Miss Meringue. 3 weeks stall rest, 3 weeks in the pool, and then go back to Ohio. And then the 2-year-olds first part of June. So that's your list. Little update because we're done now for the day, and other news starting to trickle in. I thought I'd bring it to you also. But this is Brodie LaCane, 19-year-old kid, works for us. He goes to some horses. This is his list. Give him a rundown. 10-1 again.
Renegade Gypsy at number 10. Number 9 is Almost Their Boss. Number 8 is Garden State Dio. Number 7 is Peanut Butter and Jelly. Number 6 is Resolute Bay. Number 5 is LSL. Number 4 is Prairie Fire. Number 3 is Luck of the Dragon. Number 2 is Bomb Hugger. And number 1 is Spent.
I will tell you, you're the only person in the training center who didn't put Isa 10 on their list. And the only and of the 6 lists we've done, 3 of them she's been at number 1. Now, I do that all the time. But do you wish you had her on a list now?
Not really. She'd be an honorable mention of mine, but
there you go. See, everybody's a little bit different. I'm glad to see everybody. Just so you don't think that I coach anybody, and I tell her, to make sure you mention Isa 10. Isa 10 was on everybody's list. Brodie didn't even mention her. Whereas other people didn't mention a Bomb Hugger, and I can assure you that they wish they had of today. So it's cool. It's cool to get these lists the way they are. I appreciate you coming out. I appreciate your
problem.
hard work. And we'll hopefully be back on Saturday with a drone, weather permitting. Take care.